You will march 20th miles a day, carrying 60 pounds of gear. You will build a fortress every single night. And if you fall asleep on watch, your own comrades will beat you to death. Forget the marble statues and gleaming armor. The real Roman Empire is built on mud, blood, and desperate survivors. This is what it actually takes to survive. Level 1. The Tiro. You are 17. You didn't join the army for glory. You joined because General Gaius Marius opened enlistment to the landless poor, and you were starving in the slums of Rome. The air in the training camp smells of sweat, wet wool, and wood smoke. You wear a coarse, itchy tunic that chafes your skin raw, and your heavy hobnailed sandals blister your feet. The Centurion screams in your face, his breath reeking of cheap wine, as he forces you to swing a wooden sword double the weight of a real blade against a wooden post for 6 hours straight. Your hands bleed so much that the wooden hilt turns slick and red. The boy next to you, a baker's son named Marcus, collapses from heat exhaustion and is dragged away by the ankles, never to be seen again. You realize right then that weakness is a death sentence, and the only way out of this hell is to become the monster they want you to be. Level 2. Miles Gregarius. You are 19. You are now a professional standard legionary, assigned to a massive cohort of 480 men. The battlefield is a chaotic nightmare of deafening war horns, the copper stench of fresh blood, and the mechanical, rhythmic stomping of thousands of Roman boots. You stand shoulder to shoulder with your brothers, the iron rings of your chainmail biting into your shoulders under the blistering Mediterranean sun. A terrifying wave of Gallic warriors crashes into your shield wall, the impact knocking the wind completely out of your lungs. You thrust your 24-inch gladius forward blindly, feeling it punch through leather and bone, the warm spray covering your hands. When the dust finally settles, you find your closest tent mate staring blankly at the sky with a spear in his chest, his fingers still clutching a wooden carving of his sister. You learn that survival isn't about individual heroism. It is about holding the line and never abandoning the man next to you. Level 3. Immunis. You are 23. You survived the meat grinder of the front lines long enough to earn a specialist rank, exempting you from the most brutal physical labor. The sprawling military camp is a temporary city built of timber and earth, smelling of raw sawdust, roasting grain, and latrines. You are tasked with maintaining the formidable siege engines, calibrating the massive torsion springs of the ballista that can hurl a 60-pound stone over 400 yards. The vibration of the machinery hums in your bones as you watch the devastating artillery shatter the stone walls of an enemy city. You feel a sudden, quiet pride when an aging veteran nods at your precision, clapping a scarred hand on your shoulder. You learn that brute force wins skirmishes, but engineering and relentless logistics are what actually conquer empires. Level 4. Optio. You are 28. You are the second in command of a century, standing at the rear of the formation to ensure nobody breaks and runs. The atmosphere is thick with tension and the smell of impending rain as you stare down a mutinous, exhausted squad of soldiers who haven't been paid in 3 months. You hold a heavy wooden staff, tapping it rhythmically against your palm, a constant reminder of the brutal discipline required to keep the Roman war machine functioning. A terrified young recruit, no older than you were when you started, drops his shield and turns to flee the oncoming cavalry charge. You have to make the hardest choice of your life, stepping forward and striking him down yourself to prevent the entire century from collapsing in panic. You learn that leadership requires you to bury your empathy deeply, sacrificing the few to ensure the survival of the many. Level 5. Centurion. You are 35. You command 80 men and wear the iconic transverse horsehair crest on your helmet, painting a massive target on your own back. The war room is quiet, illuminated by flickering oil lamps and the smell of melting wax as you study a crude map of the Germanic frontier alongside aristocratic generals who have never seen real combat. Your armor is pristine, heavily decorated with silver medals, yet your body aches from a dozen half-healed spear wounds that throb in the cold weather. You lead a desperate, uphill charge into a dense forest ambush, screaming orders over the din of clashing metal while hacking a path through the enemy lines. You watch a young, arrogant tribune freeze in terror, forcing you to bodily shove him out of the path of a swinging axe, taking a deep gash to your own forearm. You learn that true authority isn't granted by political birthright in Rome. It is earned in the mud and paid for with your own blood. Level 6. Primus Pilus. You are 45. You are the first spear, the highest ranking and most respected Centurion in the entire Legion. The air in the command tent is thick with incense and the heavy weight of absolute responsibility. You are tasked with guarding the Legion's Eagle Standard, the sacred silver emblem that represents the very soul of your 5,000 men. The enemy breaches the outer palisade in a daring night raid, the darkness illuminated only by roaring fires and the frantic flashing of steel. You stand alone before the standard, your muscles screaming in protest against your age, taking down 3 attackers with ruthless, practiced efficiency before reinforcements arrive. You realize as you wipe the soot from the eagle's silver wings that you have traded your youth, your family, and your entire existence for the glory of a city you haven't seen in 2 decades. Level 7. Prefectus Castrorum. You are 50. You're the Camp Prefect, a battle-hardened veteran who now oversees the massive logistical network that keeps the Legion alive. The morning air is crisp and cold as you review endless ledgers of the grain supply system, the Annona, surrounded by the smell of parchment and ink. You manage thousands of troops, ensuring the steady flow of taxes, weapons, and food across newly built roads that stretch all the way back to Italy. You look out over a sprawling, permanent stone fortress, watching new foreign auxiliary troops training in the courtyards, earning their future citizenship just like you earned yours.